Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs and today we have week 1 of the 12 weeks of Christmas series, so let's jump right in. I am actually going to create some A2 card bases because I've ran out, so I'll have to make some more. But so I thought I'd make them on the video because I pretty much never do. So an A2 size base is 4¼ by 5½ once it's scored. So it is a half of a standard size piece of cardstock in North America. I know that Europe has different sizes, but for us it is that 8½ by 11-inch paper cut in half and then scored at the 4¼ mark, giving me a 4¼ by 5½ base. So that is my standard base. That's what I use the majority of the time. And normally I pre-cut them so you guys don't ever see that, but I have run out of pre-cut bases. So I'm going to have to sit down and make a bunch more. So for this card, I wanted to do something very me. Sometimes I try to mix it up when I do my Christmas series. And, I do some that are more traditional, some that are less traditional, some that are in the middle. And for this one, I love like a tealy blue or a blue and a purple. I love them so much. So that's what I ended up doing. I have another video for you guys actually tomorrow. And I ended up using the same color palette, though it was not intentional. Completely different cards. But don't be surprised when you see tomorrow's video and it looks similar to the color palette of this video. But I went in with 2 pieces of cardstock here. I have a piece of Lavender cardstock that I'm working on here right now. This is from Says Stamp. And then I believe the blue one is Seaglass, also from Says Stamp. And then I brought in 2 colors of Distress Oxide ink. I have Wilted Violet and Broken China. And that's just to add a little bit of color around the outside. I opted to use my large blending brushes for this because it gives me a lighter hand. I didn't want it to be really heavy. I want the color to kind of look a little more muted, a little more, not muted because they're vibrant colors, but a little less heavy-handed is maybe the best way for me to say it. And so those blending brushes kind of help me have that effect. And then keep in mind too that they will dry back. So they get this just beautiful kind of, not an ombre necessarily, but a nice fade of the colors. And then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine with the Says Stamp Filigree Snowflake 3D embossing folder. I assume this is still available. I've had it for a long time. So if it isn't, I will link another Snowflake embossing folder, but any Snowflake embossing folder here would do great. I know that Spellbinders has some beautiful ones. Simon has some beautiful ones. I'm pretty sure Tim Holtz has a pretty cool one. So any brand would do great. And I did end up running that through my die cutting machine twice. I didn't like it the first time. I felt like you couldn't see it as much as I wanted, so I ran it through again. And then with my blue one, I have a switch, so I'm going to run it through twice in one pass because that is the whole switches thing, right? You can push the button and it will go back through. So I did run it through twice and I thought that just gave me a better impression. And then I wanted to add some texture and interest. You guys know that I'm really big on that. So I brought in some of the Spritz. This is Peacock Feathers in Wilted Violet. Brand new ones just came out. Of course, I don't have them yet, but I thought these 2 colors went really well with what I was kind of working on here. And because we're adding fun splatters to my snowflakey background, I did need to go in with my Perfect Pearls that I keep mixed up in a little mini mister bottle that I can use on hand all the time. I use Perfect Pearls all the time. That's why I keep it mixed up in a mini mister bottle, but you don't need to do that. That's just what I do. And then for my focal image, I'm going to bring in the Vault Winter Wishes dies. These just came out for Christmas, and this beautiful large snowflake. You guys know, if you've been with my channel for a while, I love snowflakes. They are my favorite thing ever. So every time anybody brings out a new one, especially Tim Holtz, I have to have my hands on it. And I ran it through with some of his... This is let me double check my notes because I always forget the name of these cardstocks. I believe it's the Kraft Stock Metallic Colors is what I have here. And it didn't cut nicely the first time. That's not because of anything. It's because I'm struggling a little bit with my sandwich as I've changed out my mat. So I brought in my detail cutting mat, and then of course the snowflakes cut with no issues at all. So it's just one of those things where you have to play with your sandwich a little bit, and each machine is going to be a bit different. So I kind of end up switching up my sandwich fairly often depending on what I'm working with. And once I brought this detail plate in, I had no issues at all. You can see that my snowflakes all cut beautifully. There was one exception, I think, on one of the blue snowflakes. One piece of the snowflake wouldn't let go. It was like I think they're called dendrils, I was informed. So hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. You're going to see on this snowflake after I run it through my machine, I think it's just because of how the rollers hit the plate. It just missed the one little dendril of my snowflake. Not a big issue. I did get a tip recently that I'll have to try, and it's putting your die back in place and then just pressing on it with like a bone folder, a Teflon bone folder. So I did not know that tip when I made this card. I only just saw that tip today. So I will have to, today as in the day that I'm editing this, not today as in the day you guys are going to see it. So I'm going to have to give that tip a try and see if that works, because that's just a great idea. So I'll have to try that, because normally I just bust out my scissors, and I, just trim the little piece that doesn't want to let go. But now that I have that tip, I'll have to try that out. So then, of course, I just brought in my Kraft pick and I just poked out all the bits that don't belong in the design. And I think these cards are stunning. I think they're a great start to my 12 Weeks of Christmas series. You guys know I love making Christmas cards. So don't be surprised when you see all the Christmas makes. All of the Christmas cards. So this series does run on Mondays. So it will be every Monday from now until Christmas. We will be seeing a Christmas project of some kind. I kind of like to switch it up. Sometimes they're cards. Sometimes they're, I would like to do some art journaling. I don't know if it'll be Christmas themed, so then it might be on Thursdays, but it's just a bunch of different things. And now when it came to cutting my angle, you guys know that I don't measure anything. This is eyeballed 100%. I just got it to a point where I liked it, and then I trimmed it. So I don't even know the exact measurement. If you're interested in the exact measurement, leave me a comment and I'll go and measure the actual card and get it for you. But at this point, I just eyeballed it, and then I lined up my two panels to do it on the blue one so that they would be the same. I did not measure. So, it's one of those things where if you're more into measuring, then absolutely measure. But there's no wrong way to do this, because we're going to cover the seam anyway, so it really doesn't matter what you cut off. Then because this is where I brought in the Tim Holtz Craft Stock Sparkle Classics, and I brought in the silver, as you can see, and then I just cut really thin strips. And again, I didn't measure them. I'm just cutting little strips. And then we're going to adhere those to those and just give them that kind of more finished and very pretty look. This is a fairly straightforward and simple card for me, and I think that they turned out stunning. And of course, you could do this in any color palette you wanted to. If you wanted it more traditional, do it in red and green, there's no wrong way for this. But if you've been with me for a minute, you know that I prefer a non-traditional color palette for Christmas cards, and I love bling. So these cards are pretty much right up my alley, and I loved them. So that is what I was thinking when I made them, and I love how they turned out. So side note really quick, as I adhere everything, I did put up a poll in my community tab on my YouTube channel, just asking what you guys thought about my live stream schedule. Currently, I live stream every second Thursday, and I was wondering if there would be some interest in me moving it to every second Saturday instead. Maybe that would allow more people to come and join and watch live if they wanted to be a part of it. So I just have a poll in the community tab. You can go and leave, your thoughts on there. If you don't know how to get to the community tab or you can't find the poll, you can always leave me your thoughts in the comment here too, and I'll see that as well. So I just want your guys' feedback, because it's, it's this thing, the channel's growing, and I want everybody who wants to be included. And I know sometimes the time frames aren't great for other people, and maybe Thursday isn't good because you work, but Saturday you could come hang out, like that kind of stuff. So I just want some feedback from you guys. If you wouldn't mind, that would be phenomenal. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And so then I went into stamping my card base. I have a Waffle Flower sticky mat in my Misti. So that's how my panels just stay where they are. In this case, it's the card base itself. And then I'm stamping a sentiment from the Simon Says Stamp Christmas Blessings stamps. This is probably my favorite Christmas sentiment stamp set. So if you're in the market for just a really good Christmas sentiment stamp set, this is probably my top pick, because it has, I don't even know, I think it has like 20 different sentiments on it, all Christmas related, and some are small and some are big, and they have, some have mixed font like this one, and some are more, like Merry Christmas, and some are just, sending, holiday thoughts or that kind of stuff. So there's just a great mix of a lot of great sentiments. So If that's something you're in the market for, this is by far my favorite of the stamp sets out there. And then we're just going to adhere my snowflakes together. I did cut 2 layers just because I wanted that more full look for my snowflake. And that gives me the chance to kind of pop up the dendrils and just make it look thicker. But it still goes in the envelope beautifully and mails beautifully because it's not super bulky. It just gives it a little bit more interest. And then, of course, I did need to put some gems in the center of my snowflakes. These specific gems are not available anymore and haven't been for quite a while. These were the Nuvo Pure Sheen gems. I got these like 5 years ago. You can't get them anymore, but they always have these really large, beautiful gems. So I like to use them for my snowflakes, but I will link and list other gem options so you guys can check that out if you're interested. As always, everything I use is linked and listed down below. If you're ever interested, it is affiliate links because that just helps me out. If you're going to shop anyway, it's just I get a little commission from you guys buying from my links. At no extra cost to you. So I greatly appreciate anybody who uses my links. Thank you so much. It just gives me a little bit of money towards the channel because, you know, I do this out of my own kindness of my heart, you know, free content. So that does just help me out a little bit if you're shopping anyway. So that's awesome. So then I wanted to use these little pieces in the inside of my card. They're beautiful. I don't want to throw them out. And they're kind of small, so I don't know if I would make a second card out of them, though you could if you were that way inclined. So I just opted to cut the little strip of sparkle paper to be, you know, lining up with that inside corner because you don't want this tight to the fold or you're going to have a really hard time opening and closing your card. You do need to kind of stick it just outside, which is going to have some of this hang out. No problem. I'm just going to trim it off, but you can't cut the inside of the curve to the strip that I'm adding. So I just pre-cut it and lined it up, and then I'll chop off anything that's excess hanging out the outside. And I just felt like that was kind of the easiest way for me to line it up and have it be very finished looking without having to like fold the card backwards or anything like that. So I think that these cards turned out stunning. I'm really happy with them. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know your thoughts though, because I am always interested. And if you have any technique ideas you'd like to see me do throughout this 12 Weeks of Christmas series, let me know. I'm always open to thoughts and ideas, and we'll see what I can come up with the techniques. And of course, I do live streams every second Thursday. I believe my next one is October 17th. So if you want to come and hang out with me, I would love to have you. I am actually going to be working on my diamond art painting in that one. So it's more of a chatty one. I can actually interact with you guys quite a bit and answer questions if you have anything like that. So feel free to stop in and say hi. And then the next one would be the 31st of October, I believe it's Halloween Day. And we are going to be making all sorts of sized envelopes. So I've had some questions about envelopes recently, and I need to make more envelopes. So that one will be, you know, making slimline, making mini slimline, making whatever envelopes we need to talk about. And if there's one you need help with, you can stop in and tell me, and I can show you how to make that one as well. So keep that in mind if you have some free time and you want to come and hang out on my live stream days. I'd love to have you. So these are the cards I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday, and as I said, live streams every second Thursday. Potentially we might move those to Saturday. But yeah, so that is what I have for you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you again tomorrow, in fact, for an extra video this week. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.